I just got one of these for my birthday for my wife. A mental note, boys and girls, if you keep going about Daphne blue things in your life, or lack of them, and hinting, eventually your dreams do come true, yeah? I got some other videos I'm making on this, like the initial unboxing, and what I've noticed in the early unboxing, I said that these lined up, yeah? And now they're not lining up, so there's definitely something loose here. So the first thing I'm going to do is unplug this, take it out of there, turn my amp off, otherwise I'll forget and it'll be raining petrol, money. And we're going to get this off and have a look at why they've not tightened that up, yeah? I've got power tools, I use hand tools in the first thing. So the pots are definitely not in the right place, and one of the things I use here is my little cat dreamy boxes, and that's got the ability to store the screws. Sometimes I've also noticed that when you do this, then the screws don't quite go back in properly, because the wood is quite cheap. This is supposed to be poplar body. It sounds good actually. It isn't. I find there's a neck dive in it. I know some other people have said there isn't a neck dive. There definitely is for me. Maybe I just hold the guitar wrong, but okay, let's whip this off. Oh, okay, that's pretty good. There's like a bit of wood. I would say they put some shielding paint in here, except they've not done a very good job of it. What I'll do is I'll pause the camera and I'll move it closer so you can see it, otherwise it's kind of pointless, yeah? So I've turned the camera around, and can you see that, I mean, I'm colourblind, but I can definitely see blue at the bottom there, or a blue colour, and that. So that's the first thing. The shielding, if there is any, there is shielding paint there. That isn't normal paint, yeah, it's like graphite paint, or it's that sort of stuff you got as a child. Now, this thing's just moving. Why is that? Yeah, look, you can see it physically moving, yeah? Yeah, you see? Oh no. No, the pot's busted. Okay. The pot's busted because that can move, and yet it's tightened in. I'll have to take that and have a look. That's not right, yeah? So, yeah, it's just moved a load there where it shouldn't have done. Yeah, I can feel it. There's something there that's wrong, so that's got to go back, or at least they send me a replacement and I'll fix it, or they send me a new, I don't know, stick some EMGs in it. Although the pickups are pretty nice, but they do need, so that's disappointing. So that's already the first thing. That pot has busted. Oh, and the wires come off, look. So the pot's busted and the wires come off. Okay. That isn't me heavy handing it. You saw I just literally took the thing off, yeah? So that's poor. That's okay. I still got a neck pickup, sorry, a bridge pickup, and that sounds pretty good. I'd have to tape that off. I can solder that in, but yeah, that's going to be mentioned back to the people. But there's something wrong with this pot. It's got an extra travel on it, which this one don't have, yeah? This one's absolutely fine. So the second volume, the neck volume is fine, the tone is fine. It's the bridge, sorry, the neck one is not fine, it's the bridge one that's fine. So that's broken, and that needs, it just suddenly slips. I don't know if I can show it. It's there, and then it will just slip. Yeah, you see it just keeps going. That's not me moving that, it just keeps going. Before someone says, oh, you're heavy handing it, I have a lot of basses and a lot of guitars, and I'm being fine to it. Now, I want a new pick guard. There's nothing wrong with the pick guard, but I think I just prefer the white look on it. So that's got to be changed. Okay. So now let's look the frets themselves. Yeah, these aren't bad. I mean, they're better than some Fenders I've had. So well done, Indonesia. And there's classic. Actually, the Jaguar space I got was needing a little bit of work, but this is absolutely fine. Strings, I've got no complaint about them, but I would probably put Billy Sheenan's, or I would put my Labella nylon and get that sound going. I wouldn't mind if it was fretless. Let's have a quick look at the actual quality of the frets here. Sorry, a bit. I don't know what that is. It feels like plastic. Someone else said it's bone. That's a very strange bone, but it's well cut. I haven't tried the intonation there yet. Often with these things, they're too high, and then when you play these first notes, they're not quite right. And when you're beginning guitar, you don't really notice it, but you sound like a moron because you play out of tune and your bandmates look at you, and there's nothing wrong with your playing, it's just the instrument set up wrong. I do like the markings on this Indian laurel. I'm not a great believer in tone wood, although I do like maple fingerboards, just because normally they're closed and you don't have to put oil in them. This one probably needs oiling. What's the pocket like now? Sorry, there's a little gap, but nothing terrible. I'm also not a great believer in the coupling of that sound into the body to make... there's a big gap there. That one's a bit of the thing. Let me see if I'm pointing there, sorry. Yeah, it's a massive gap there, but that's, again, I'm not going to cry about that, because I think, as a physicist, a mathematician, this suspension bridge between the bridge and the whatever on the pickups is the dominant sound, particularly with bass. So that's got to be fixed. I can reflow that solder there. Let's look on the back. Yeah, that's all fine. Colour's beautiful. It might not look so good in this light, but it's beautiful. So what I'll do is I'll just pause this a second, and I'll screw that back in, and I'll make a note to the shop. Actually, I'll take a picture as well. I'll make a note to the shop that there's a problem there, and then I'll go and put some instruments on to check the actual setup height. So I'll be back in a minute.